Welcome back to the Buildory. Today will be part 3 of the Wally and Eve set. We're specifically going to be doing Eve, and this is going to be a step-by-step build. Again, I used 3 different styles, and this is likely the one I'm going to be going with for the channel, just because it allows you to be able to follow along with each build and really get to experience the build. Please consider liking and subscribing and sharing. I'd really like to be able to get the message out that LEGO can be accessible for anyone, and there are lots of ways to be able to experience LEGO. Okay, so to start, we'll use this curved 2x4 brick and a 2x4 plate. 2 of these 1x2 rounded plates on either end. Then we use these 1x2 brackets with the 1x4 plates. Step 4 uses this 1x2x3 panel with side supports. On one side, this 1x2 gray tile, as well as this 2x2 slope at a 45-degree angle, which is inverted. Next, we need to make 4 of these pieces, which include a 1x2 brick and a 1x2 rounded plate, and these 2 1x1 bracket with the 1x2 panel on either side. So I will go ahead and make 4 of those. Great, so now we have 4, and they just go on either side of the gray support. And now you can see that this inverted slope piece is slightly elevated. From here we can use these very nice shade of blue and yellow brackets. Followed by these pieces here that have a plate in the center. We get 2 of those, and they attach onto that sloped piece we placed earlier, and 2 of the tile pieces to finish it off. Next, we use these 1x2 plates with a ball joint in the center. These go on top of the pieces we just put in, along with these 1x1 bracket pieces. Now, as you can see, these are slightly different shade of yellow and shade of blue. It's almost periwinkle. Okay, in this next step, we use this piece, which is called a black axle connection with a ball joint socket and a rounded front. On either side, we're going to use these red axles. Then we use these 1x2 tan bricks that have an axle cut. And this now just goes right on top. Next, we use these 1x2 brackets on either side. And as you can see from this build, it makes extensive use of these snot bricks, which stand for stud not on top. I've mentioned it in my previous videos. They are very useful for being able to build at different sides as opposed to just from on the top and stacking them. From there, we can use these 1x2 plates that now allow for us to stack on this side, along with these 4 white bracket pieces to go around. So as I mentioned, this is the central support of Eve. Now we're going to make the front and back plates. So we're going to start with this 6x6 white plate, followed by additional gray and white plates. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Next, we use these 2x2 pieces that have this step here. This is, again, considered a snot brick. Followed by 2 of each of these pieces, which is a 1x1 snot brick that is rounded, 1x1 plate, and this green stud. I enjoy that they included a bit of color, even though some of these pieces aren't going to be seen, just because it's nice to be able to have a bit of color, because as you can tell, this set doesn't have much color in it. Again, use these snot bricks. Next, we'll use this 1x2 bracket with a panel. And again, I don't know why they went with a different shade of yellow, but we'll use that yellow brick and finish it off with these light gray 1x3 plates. We then use this 6x6 rounded tile plate that has a cutout in the center, along with these curved tile, and a 4x4 rounded yellow plate. And this attaches on top. And now you can start to see the layout of how it will fit. Moving on, we will place these bright yellow plates and these tile pieces on either side. We'll now use these inclined slopes along with these curved steps. Some of the steps in some Lego builds are just one piece, or sometimes you'll even see that they are just grab a piece, and so I might have to combine steps in these videos so that you are actually able to see the steps. And then we use these longer 2x3 slopes. And then lastly, we use this tile piece that, as you can see, has a variety of different attachment points. And what we will do here is we will use this 1x2 tile piece. And as you can see, it's not just a regular tiled piece. It has these bevels on it. So it's not what would be a tile piece. For example, as you can see here, this 1x3 is just a regular rectangular shape that attaches on here and is placed on top. Remember, because this is the yellow circle, it will go on the yellow side. So the next part of the build is to make the other side of Eve. So this was the back, and now we will be doing the front. The pieces are relatively similar, and so I won't need to explain the pieces as much. So one thing that is slightly different about this side is now, as you can see, it honestly reminds me of just like airplane wings, like when you're making a paper airplane. That's how it kind of looks to me. These 2x2 plates that have one of the corners cut out. And this just attaches to the other side as so. Next, again, we use these green studs. And of course, more snot bricks. I love this shade of blue. It's really nice. I will eventually be doing the aquarium build. I have that set, I just haven't filmed it, and it makes extensive use of this color. Well, really it makes extended use of almost all the colors in the Lego palette. So one key difference on this side is, of course, we have those 2x3 sloped pieces, but now this one is a specialty printed piece that has that green plant from the movie, and I appreciate that it's printed, it's not a sticker. Again, we use this beveled 1x2 tile onto the front plate that just snaps right on and gets put on the other side. Before we get to bag 2, we are going to include some nice aesthetic pieces that will snap onto these snot bricks on the side. And step 46 is the exact same thing, just on the other side. Next, we need to finish the top so that this would be covered. And then we use these curved tile pieces to cover the remaining sections. Lastly is the base that is split up into many steps that really don't need to be split into many steps, in my opinion. I'm going to end up combining some of those steps. But we use these rounded 2x2 bricks that are transparent, light blue. Next, we will use this axle piece, and that gets pushed through, and finished off with one more of these transparent light blue bricks. Lastly, on the bottom, we include a round 2x2 plate. So that just gets placed in there. Eve is able to stand upright, and it's actually pretty sturdy. So here are all the pieces for bag 2. Of course, in the actual build, it's bag 7, but that's because Eve is the last part of this set. The first part of this bag is to attach the component to allow for attachment of the arms. These use the 1x2 plates that have a ball joint in the center, and those just get stacked on top of each other and then placed into the ball joint socket, as you can see here. So we'll start with this 1x2 rounded plate and the 1x1 light gray bracket. These 1x1 snot bricks that are rounded, of course. And then facing the other direction, we have a 1x2 plate that has a ball joint socket on one side in the center, and that faces the other direction as the 2 snot bricks we just placed. Next, we use these light tan brackets, more rounded plates that go on either side now of those brackets. The next portion would be the upper part of her arm. Use these nice arches that now very neatly stack on top on either side. 1x1 tiles. We can now start to see the outline of where the arm is. We'll then make use of this tile piece. In this step, we'll also use this light gray open bar, I suppose it would be, and that just slides through both the 1x2 rounded plate and the transparent light blue tile. Now it's finished off with this angled piece that, unlike the others, are not curved. It's at a sharp 45-degree angle. This attaches on to the angled piece here through attachment on the light blue stud. We will then do the same thing on the other side, except instead of having the bar, we just have a terminal position. And this fits on the other side, and that bar does go through this 1x2 plate and the transparent tile piece. So that snaps into place. So we use this nice light blue plate, and then it gets rounded off with these 6 curved pieces. So now from this ball joint, it just attaches on to the side. This is the left arm. So the next portion is just to complete the same thing on the other side, so I will go ahead and make the second arm. The only difference is that it's just the mirrored version of the left arm. The second to last part is the head. We start with this 8x8 rounded plate. These smooth quarter spheres, those just go on the 3 corners, and those are just the regular non-specialty pieces. And then in step 89, we have this specialty printed plate that has her 2 eyes. that gets placed on top. We stabilize it using this 2x2 rounded tile piece. Flipping it over, we use these yellow and blue plates. First we use this round black ball joint that slides onto the axle, again with that end stop to keep it in place, and this light gray bushel. Again, it's kind of acting like a washer, as you would in, construction. This dish, and this just slides right through. As you can see, it's not a piece for an axle, it's a piece for what would be a Technic pin. And so when this gets put in, it's not able to actually stay put. It gets attached onto the head through this blue plate that we included before, and it just pushes right in. The ball just fits into the ball joint. Now we have Eve done, and there's only the plant in the boot left, so we will build that. So we start off with these rounded plates and a semicircle 2x2 brick on one end and a 2x2 rounded jumper. 1x2 plate that's rounded, and then another snot brick and plate. Here in step 97, we use this 2x3 plate that is normal on one end and rounded on the other. And these two gray pieces that will act as the sole of the boot. Next is the toe pieces that just fit on either side. And lastly, we have this little plant piece, and it's actually a very vibrant green color, and this just sticks in. It's the same size as any of the bar pieces, and this just slides right into the boot. Now, a fun part about this build is that because this large tile piece can be taken off, you're actually able to store the boot in Eve. Then you're able to put this plate back on, and she's finished. So thanks so much for joining me with this Wally and Eve set. I found that it was really fun to build, and I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I'll likely be going with this last method of the step-by-step build, so you're able to follow along. If you'd like to see some of the other styles again, let me know, especially if you want to have this new style, but you don't want any talking in it at all. Yeah, thank you again for watching, and I look forward to the next video.